Hello, and welcome to the Knitworthy podcast. My name is Brianne, also known as Being Brianne, on Ravelry and Instagram. And welcome to the show. If this is your first time watching, I'm so happy that you're here. Thanks for finding me. And if this is if you're returning, welcome back. Welcome to my home. I'm recording here from Branson, Missouri, kind of in the heartland of the U.S. And it's a gloomy day out. We've had lots of rain over the last few days, and so it's kind of it's been kind of gloomy. So I've got all the lights on, so we'll see how that affects everything. But I was hoping to make it a little bit more brighter and more cheery in here. So yeah, this is episode number 88. This is Tuesday. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit because it's looking a little askew. There we go. This is take 2 for me. Take 1 was immediately interrupted by a call from the school. The kids are back in school, and Evan is not feeling so well today. He's just got a little bit of a tummy ache. He's been in the nurse's office like twice now, so she was like, "What can I do to help?" And I said, "Give him a hug, give him a mint." And, I'll say a prayer for him, but, it's hard when he's not feeling well, or any of the kids. But school started last Wednesday. Thank goodness. The kids were on their last nerve. It got to the point where they were like, "Mom, Ailish is breathing too loud," and I'm just like, "Really? Okay." So we had to talk about being kind. We had our Keen Kindness campaign this summer, and it went really well. We just worked on being kind in actions and in deed, and doing kind things for each other and making sure that we are having a positive attitude with each other. And it went really, really well, especially at first, and it just kind of became like routine. They would say kind things to each other, and they would help each other and help me and Brian, and it was wonderful. But towards the end, it all just kind of fell apart because they were just all done with being together in our little condo and trying to think of things to do. So thank goodness for school. They were all excited for it. Owen, my oldest, is 14. He'll be 15 next month, and he's going into high school. This is his freshman year, 9th grade. Holy cow. Ailish is 11 and in 6th grade now, and can't believe that. And Evan is in 3rd grade. He's 8 years old, and everybody's doing really, really well. And I think the school year has started out with a really positive note. So I'm excited about that. So other things that have happened. I'm so sorry the podcast is getting out kind of late. I intended to podcast last week, but our computer is a 8-year-old refurbished MacBook Pro, and it would not start. And it gave the beep. The dreaded beep upon pressing the power button. And we did a little bit of research. We weren't quite ready to throw in the towel yet with it and just give up on it. And so we ended up doing some research, and Brian fiddled around with it. And we ordered an extra chip of RAM. Apparently we had one that just went bad, and so it just kind of caused problems. And so now we have more processing power, which is great. We have like double what we had, which is awesome. And hopefully that'll mean the podcast will get out a little bit easier because it'll process things faster and easier. And yeah, so we'll see. So thankful Brian was able to fix it, and we didn't have to send it in to get repaired, because it just always ends up being more costly than doing it yourself, unless it's like cars. With cars, I am fully ready to have it go into the shop so a professional is looking at it, because we had an incident with brakes where Brian tried to fix it and it did not work so well, and it was a little bit terrifying. So cars, please send it to the shop. Let's not risk our lives, shall we? So I'm so sorry the podcast is getting out later than I intended, but, things happen. With all the hustle and bustle of trying to get ready for back to school and work and everything, I have not knitted as much as I intended to. Plus, I injured my wrist at work like 2 weeks ago. And so that was a little bit difficult. It was my right wrist, so knitting was kind of impossible for a few days. It's better now. But then yesterday I hurt my leg. I was walking on flat ground, not even like doing hurdles or anything. I felt like a pop in the back of my calf, and my calf has been killing me. And so I would just, in related news, I'd like to say that I'm turning 39 this year, and getting old is not fun. Not that I'm old, but I'm gracefully edging into the middle years of my life. And I'm noticing that, things aren't running as smoothly as they did, when I was younger. Oh gosh. So crazy. So crazy. But anyways, let's talk about knitting, because that's what this podcast is all about. I have some things to show you. I have some things to share, and I'm super excited. So, first, let's talk about my Raina shawl. This is in this beautiful bag, who is by A Needle Runs Through It on Etsy. And I just love this fabric. I've had this bag for several years, probably like 7 or 8, and it's held up really, really well. And I think it's just beautiful. Here is my Raina shawl. I have put some work on it, so it's getting bigger, which I love. And let me kind of stretch it out a little bit on the needles so you can see this pattern is by Nora Leivola, and it's a pattern from 2015. So in case you're looking for it, it's not like a newer pattern, but it is still rather popular on Ravelry. Oh, look at that, it's getting so big. Yay. Let me show it the right way. So here we go. This is what it looks like right now. When I block it, of course, it'll be more straight up on top. It'll look a little bit more like this. And you can see, I'm going to hold up close where you can see the mesh parts, mesh sections, which will block out rather nicely as well. So I'm doing a mesh section right now. I'm almost done with it. I've got, 6 rows left in the mesh section. And this is a really easy, fun knit. If you're looking for something that will keep your mind engaged, but then is easy enough to where you can like interact with other people while you're knitting, or if you are wanting to watch shows or listen to audiobooks or something like that while you're knitting, where it doesn't take up your whole brain space, then this is a great pattern for you. This yarn is by Plymouth Yarn. It's Happy Feet 100 Splash, hand dyed. And excuse me, this is color 107, which is Tuscan Spice. It calls for a US 2. It's of course a fingering weight yarn, so it's let me see here. So it calls for a fingering weight, like a smaller gauge needle. And this is a number 5 that I'm using, and I'm getting wonderful fabric from it. Nice and open and drapey, and I think it's turning out really, really well. And I'm alternating 2 skeins because I wanted to make the shawl bigger than what it called for, and as you can see, they are a little bit different. This one is a lighter, has less speckling than this skein does, and I really am enjoying this yarn quite a bit. It is really nice to work with. I have knitted a pair of socks out of this yarn. In fact, the same colorway I knitted a pair of socks out of, and it wears really, really well. So if you're looking for, really a great all-purpose fingering weight sock yarn, I think this would be a good one to try. And, at $19 a skein for a hand-dyed speckled yarn, I don't think that that's unreasonable at all. I found it at my local yarn store in Springfield. Local. It's, 40 miles away, but that's okay. I'll take what I can get. But I found it at at an LYS, and yeah, so they have quite a few colors. Why do I want to say I have another one of these in my stash somewhere? Or have I knitted with another skein in a different colorway that was more like blues and greens? Pretty sure. So today my goal is to get done with this garter section and begin the next, with the mesh section and begin the next garter section. And every garter section that you do gets bigger and bigger. And so, it's an interesting, I like to see the progression happen. So there's that. Put that in my podcasting bag over here. Okay. Now I have another pair of socks. These are Brian's Christmas socks for this year. Every year I make him at least one pair of Christmas socks to be opened. And this year they look like this. This is Cascade Yarns Heritage Prints, and it's colorway 46. It looks like this in the skein. And I really like this sock. Cascade yarn, sock yarns, I have had very good luck with. They are just very sturdy yarns and just a great yarn to pick up, and you're not going to have problems with it. None of the Cascade yarns I've ever had a problem with. I've really enjoyed working with Cascade yarns, and this is a superwash merino nylon blend, and so I know it's going to wear really well. And I have a pair of the Cascade, what is it? It's their plain Cascade Heritage Silk, I think it is. I'm trying to remember. I think that's it. Cascade Heritage is their main like solid color line. Maybe it has a little bit of variation to it, but I have a pair of socks in there, Cascade Heritage Silk, that I've had since we lived in Nixa, and we moved in 2012. And I probably knitted those in like 2010, 2011. So that's pretty awesome, right? To have a pair of socks that long. And I wear the heck out of my wool socks. Even in the summer, I wear them to work every day that I work. So my socks are getting worn at least 4 or 5 days a week. So, and then every day, of course, in the winter and fall and in the spring. So yeah, that's great to have such a great sock yarn. So anyways, Brian hasn't seen these, so they're my sock knitting that I keep in my purse that I knit on before I go into work or when I'm out and about, but I don't think he's seen these yet, so hopefully he'll like them. He'll see them eventually before Christmas, then he'll forget about them. It's perfect. And I'm using the Wendy D. Johnson toe up with a heel flap pattern that I usually use for my toe up socks, and it's a great especially for, I think, it's just a plain vanilla sock but just toe up, and it has a heel flap, and I like that it doesn't have gusset decreases. For some reason the gusset decreases feel like they take forever, and the increases though don't seem to take as long. It's the same amount, go figure. But I really enjoy that pattern. So if you're looking for a good toe-up sock, I would recommend that you look for that one. And this is in my bag for my needle runs through it. Also on, she's still on Etsy. That hasn't changed in the last 5 minutes. But yeah, so she's picks up beautiful fabrics, I think. This is also an older bag, so I don't know that she has that pattern anymore, that print, but, oh, come here. Thank you. All right. Here's a new thing that I started since the last time I podcasted. In my chicken boots designs. Is that it? Where are you? Little tag. That will tell me. I think it's chicken boots designs. Oh dear. Well, this is the sock blank that Mom dyed for me. This is the Storybook sock blank socks. That's what I'm calling them. Lots of S's. And here is the sock blank that she dyed when she was with Peggy of 100th Sheep in what would be April or May of this year. And isn't that just beautiful? I love the beautiful vibrant turquoise and that vivid purple. And all she did was she used like the bottom of a jar to make those circular patterns there. And I think that was really smart because they look really gorgeous. So let me show you what the sock looks like so far. It just looks like this. Just the little beginning of a sock, not anything too huge, but let me pull that up a little bit more. I don't know how I feel working with a sock blank, to be honest. If for those of you who haven't used a sock blank before, what you do is you find the edge that is the that you're able to pull the easiest from. So like here is, you find the other end. This is the other end, and if I try to pull from this, you can see it's very difficult. But if I pull from this edge, from this end, it just pulls right out. So you find the end that is easier to pull from, and you just begin pulling, and it kind of looks like ramen noodles. You see that? It's really kinky and bouncy. It's like, you know, Tigger. It's full of fun. And but it goes back and forth across like this and unwinds, and then you knit from it. And I'm trying to decide how I feel about it. I love the idea of sock blanks, but the actual practicality of knitting with them is just a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I find tensioning the yarn is a little bit more challenging. You know, I mean, not terribly challenging, like it's impossible, but just you know, trying to make sure that I have the right tension on the yarn and that it's not too long between the needles and where I'm holding it. So I know part of that is just the way that I knit, but also, you know, the fact that it's quite elastic and springy makes it a little bit more challenging. So I don't know. We'll see how I end up feeling about this in the end and how it ends up washing and blocking. The stitches aren't as even as I usually produce, and I know that's because of the kinkiness of the yarn. Now, if you were to unravel it and then wash it and set the yarn again, I know that it wouldn't be a problem, but then you don't have the experience of knitting off a sock blank. So I don't know. Now, Mom had, I think she had 2 sock blanks that she had dyed that were more like a tonal sock blank, and she's actually using them to knit a sweater with, but she unraveled them and washed and set the yarn again, so it was, and then wound it into a ball. So it's not having the same effect as far as like the tension issues and the unevenness of the stitches. So I don't know that you really want that in a sweater project, especially you know, I think it would be discouraging. So, and frustrating. At least that's what I think. So yeah, so that's what she ended up doing, and she paired it with a whole different yarn that is also indie dyed and in the same family of colors, but just not dyed by her. And she's knitting a beautiful sweater out of that, and she's alternating skeins, and it's looking really beautiful. So that's exciting. So let's put this away, and I want to talk about, I have a finished object. Yay! Let me move these forward a little bit. I had a whole like table of things to share with you. Are you ready to see? Okay, these are my hand spun striped socks, and they're done. Isn't that gorgeous? I am so in love with these socks, and it's been so hard for me not to put them on while I've been waiting for to show you. I've wanted to wear them so badly. They are so beautiful, and I really enjoyed working on these. Excuse me. This, for those of you who are new, I'll show it this way because then you don't see that jog. We'll hide that. Excuse me. The yarn that is variegated is my hand spun, which I did from Walnut Farm Designs fiber, and it's the rhubarb colorway, and it's a superwash merino nylon blend that I spun. Yeah, it's a 2-ply, so it'll be interesting to see how these socks wear. And this is my leftovers from another pair of socks that I knitted from the yarn, and I wanted to use up more of it. I have more left over. Can you believe it? Oh my word, this is like the giving tree of yarns, where it just keeps on going and going and going, and it keeps on just giving still more. And so I've put that yarn away in my scrap section so that I can do something else with it at a later point. But I'm just kind of done working with it for now. But here's the first sock. And then the cream yarn is just a yarn, an undyed yarn that I purchased off of Etsy from a dyer who was just trying to, I think she was all done with that base, and so she was having a sale on that. Here's the second sock. And I just think it is so beautiful. Again, this is Wendy Johnson's toe up with a heel flap sock pattern, and I really just enjoyed how these came out. Every little bit of it was beautiful to do, and I loved how they turned out. And it just felt like a really, it sounds braggart, like I'm bragging about myself, but I felt it was like a really well executed sock. Just every part about it, I was so pleased with how it turned out, and so I can't wait to wear them. Yay! And I'm so thrilled with the fact that they were hand spun, that part of them were hand spun. That just makes me so happy. It makes my heart just be like, yay, look at you, what you did. So I get to wear those now. Yay! Okay, the other thing that I've been working on that I don't know where to put it in the segments of the show because it's kind of like its own thing, was I've been winding a lot of mini skeins for my sock yarn blanket, just because I haven't really felt like working on it. But I've wanted to I needed something mindless and soothing, but that was not knitting, because I just wasn't in that place. And so I got out my bag of minis that I keep my minis skeins in that need to be wound. And it's a cheap little Walmart bag that I got as a gift for doing the Walmart pickup thing. And I still have some minis in here that need to be wound. Looks like about 2 big handfuls. Ta-da! But I have wound so many of these skeins that it makes me so happy, because now I can just reach in and grab something and it's done. So I have this back I don't have really a lot of labels for what these are. I know these two are were part of the Cheshire Cat, or it was like an Alice in Wonderland themed mini kit. So there's that one. And here's this one. I think these two were from Astrea Amaris on Etsy. And this one was one that I picked up at DFW Fiber Fest. This is another one from that Alice in Wonderland themed one. And this one was, I don't know. I'm losing track now. Isn't that sad? These were just ones that I had already had that I had from my stash. And I have this bag. And I have this bag. So I've done a lot of winding of yarn and just winding it by hand. And it's just very like meditative and enjoyable and very refreshing to me. I don't know why. It's just, the last day of summer break that I was with the kids, I just had to put everybody in timeout, including me. We were in the car and I said, listen, when we get home, everybody's going to their own room and we're just going to hang out and do quiet things in our room and we're going to relax and we're going to take some deep breaths, right? And we're going to like unwind so that when we come out, we are in a better place mentally and emotionally and spiritually and physically. I said, if you want to take a rest, go for it. But if you don't want to, that's okay. Nobody's going to make you. But mom needs a timeout too, because I don't want to take out my frustrations on the kids, right? So that's what we did. And I wound up some yarns and it just made me feel a lot better. So I'm excited to put those into my blanket. Excuse me. I'm excited to put those into my blanket and have them ready to go. I'd like to finish up winding those other skeins before I add more to it, which I'm going to add more to it in a little bit, as you'll see. But I'm excited to have those ready to go so that I can just at a moment grab some, because I was getting to the point where I didn't quite have as many to choose from as I would have liked. And if anybody's interested in doing a swap with some minis, contact me on Ravelry. I'm being Brianne, BEING, and contact me because I have some extras like of things that I just would love to trade out, and some colors that are not my very, very favorites that are beautiful, but they just are not my color aesthetic, and I'd love to see if anybody would like to trade with me. So let me know. I'm doing those at least 10 gram skeins or little balls of yarn. So yes. Okay. Gilding the Lily. Oh my gosh. I have opened these packages. I have not actually looked inside of them, but I didn't want to open them on air. I didn't want to open them live and end up, making lots of noise for you guys. So the first thing that I purchased was from, look at this fun bag. The flamingos, the old car, the pineapple, the palm frond. Was from Nomadic Yarns. Oh, so excited. This is a yarn that I've wanted for quite a while. And, oh yay. This is Nomadic Yarns, excuse me. Here's her tag. She does a lot of Harry Potter themed yarns. And this is her Molly Weasley themed yarn. I'm so sorry. I get up at like 5 o'clock every morning now with the kids, and I'm not a 5 o'clock in the morning person. I'm great at getting up at 5 p.m. from a long nap, but 5 a.m. is not a good hour for me. And so I'm a little bit yawny today. I'm so sorry. So this is her trusty sock. It's 462 yards, which is 100 grams. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And just look at those fun colors. Is that not Molly Weasley? You got the orange, the hot pink, that kind of burgundy color, that really beautiful green, and a gold. Can you see that? This is more gold in real life than it is showing up on my phone. But I wish I could show you what it looks like knit up, because it is gorgeous. And it's like such a representation of her. She is such a funny, eclectic, the way she dresses cracks me up. And I love her as a character. She is such a great, strong person, and I just love it. So if you want to order from Nomadic Yarns, that's great. She does have some ready to ship things, but for the most part, her dyeing schedule puts her out about 5 or 6 weeks before she's able to ship. So just know that going in, it's not like you're going to get your yarn next week in the mail. I need coffee. Why did I not make coffee? And it came with a fun little candy and this Deathly Hallows stitch marker. So that's really fun. And I'm going to put this back in the bag. Sorry about the crinkling. But she has beautiful, beautiful yarn. I have a few skeins from her. I think I have Professor McGonagall, Minerva McGonagall, and I have one more. It's not Sirius Black. Shoot. I'm forgetting. I'm so sorry. I have one more, and I have a Christmas speckled yarn that I bought from her a couple years ago. I also made another purchase from the Yarn Lab UK because I can't help myself. And it came with some beautiful tea. Oh, lemon drizzle green tea, yum. Oh, and a really cute turtle stitch marker. Can you see that? It's like a beautiful sea turtle. And some sugar-free candy. Hooray! Okay, so I'm going to start off with this beautiful skein set. It comes wrapped up, which I think is so fun. It feels like Christmas. This is her Fit for a House Elf sock set. This is Dobby. And you get a 50 gram skein plus a 20 gram little matching set, like contrasting yarn for heels and toes and maybe cuffs. I don't know. We'll see. But this is her Dobby. And I'm sorry, but look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm in love with this. I saw it and I was like, that's for me. That's what I need right now. I need a beautiful, beautiful skein of yarn like that. And then I ordered 2 more mini sets from her. That's really pretty. This is the Gilmore Girls set. Oh, let me hold that right side up. Hi. And they have winter, spring, summer, fall, and the 2 Loreleis. So winter, spring, summer, and fall. Winter, I don't know. I don't know what order they're in. That looks like summer to me. Doesn't that look like summer? And then I don't know what order they come in, but that's okay because either way, they're adorable. These are 5 20-gram mini skeins of a 25%. Oh no, it's superwash merino nylon twist. No, superwash merino nylon twist. And I love this. This is gonna be so fun to add to my blanket. And then I don't know if I'm adding this one to my blanket or not. Oh, that's even more beautiful in person. Okay, look at that. This is Feathered Friends, and it's Errol, Hedwig, Pigwidgeon, Hermes, and Owl Mail, and it's the same thing. Let me show you so you can see a good view of the back, so you can see what they look like with full skein. I kind of want to do like a really beautiful cowl with that, you know, like something kind of with like the stacked colors. I don't know, that is so pretty. I just think they kind of get lost in my blanket, you know. I'm gonna have to think about that. So here are my goodies from the Yarn Lab UK. She is on Etsy. She is wonderful. And that's Lana. And if you go over and purchase something from her, just tell her I said hi. Tell her that you saw her from my podcast. And don't take any things that I want to buy, because I have more things in my cart. It's a sickness, people. It's a sickness. But I have decided that, first of all, I need to rein in the spending, rein in the yarn purchasing, but also I feel so conflicted about my yarn right now because I have a lot of beautiful yarn that I love to knit with, that I would love to knit with, but I find myself like pulling from older skeins and not knitting with my newer yarn. I have not knit with anything that I purchased at DFW. I'm trying to remember if I've knit with anything that I purchased from Yarn Fest from last year that we purchased in Colorado. I don't know, but that's just a very sad state of affairs, isn't it? Like I have knitted with some from Yarn Fest. I knitted that really beautiful cowl that I gave to my sister from I can't remember her name, but I knitted some yarn from there, but I haven't done nearly as much as I wanted to, and I feel like I have to use up my old stuff first before I knit with the new stuff, but then I keep on bringing more new stuff in, and that's just not good. So we need to kind of figure this out. I would like to use more of my recently purchased yarns, is what I'm saying. So I don't know, but I need to stop buying yarn for a little while because I just don't have, I'm going to have more time now that the kids are in school to do things like crafting, but I don't have all the time in the world. Who does? Not everybody, not anybody that I know of. So there you go. Okay, so that was Gilding the Lily. Aren't they pretty? Yay! Okay, contests. Of course we have the Festival Craft Along, for which if you win, you will win these beautiful skeins of yarn from the 100th Sheep. It's mind-blowing how pretty that is. This is from her Color Concepts, which is it's a total of 660 yards of a superwash merino Tesla silk blend, and this is her Highlands Moor colorway. Sorry, I had that down so I could read. But I think it's just gorgeous, and I love, it's just squishy, and it has beautiful shine to it, and it's 6.7 ounces of yarn, and it's a retail of $47, so you don't want to miss out on this. This is beautiful. All you have to do to be entered to win this yarn is to tell me in our Ravelry thread, the FO thread, what would you knit? Show me what you would knit to go to a festival. You don't actually have to be going to this festival. You could go to Hogwarts Festival if you want to. I don't know. Make one up. It's a real or pretend festival that you would go to. Show me what you would knit. Knit that thing and show it to us. You could knit a nose warmer if you want to. I don't care. Maybe your nose gets cold because it's a winter festival. I don't know. Just tell me. Show me. Show us what you've knitted. We've had everything from, and I don't care if it's knitted or crocheted, woven. We've had someone make stitch markers to pass out to friends. So many options of things you could do. Sew it. Smelt it. Are you into working with precious metals? Do that. Make some beautiful jewelry for yourself. I don't know. The contest ends September 30th, so we're coming up on the end, coming towards the end of our, keeps on shifting. We're coming up to the end of our contest here in the next few weeks. More than one project is allowed. You don't have to just knit or create one thing. You're just going to create as many as you like, and just use a separate post for each completed item to get your additional entries. Works in progress. Say it's a sweater that you just need to put a button band on that you've had like sitting around for 5 years. Get that button band on and add it. Like, you don't have to knit the whole entire thing right now. Like, you can pick up things that you've already been working on and do that. You need to be a member of the Ravelry group to win. Winner will be chosen by random member generator. So that's the festival craft along. This is gorgeous. You want to try and win this, let me tell you. And then I'm doing just a really small, really quick YouTube contest to win a skein of a set of mini skeins from the Yarn Lab UK. Just tell me on YouTube what you would like to hear more about on the podcast. And you will win possibly this I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside mini skein set. Isn't that pretty? That's lovely. And that will be open until the next time I podcast. So it's just open for the next couple weeks. But just tell me, go on, leave a comment, and tell me what you want to hear more about. That way I can hopefully incorporate some of those things into the podcast. And yeah, I want to hear from you guys. And I haven't done a YouTube contest, I think, ever. So this will be fun. Usually most of our most of our contests happen on Ravelry, but not everybody's on Ravelry, and I'm going to give you guys a chance to be a part of things. So there's that. Okay, that is it, my friends. That is it. I have nothing else to talk about. I'm totally spent. Well, not really. I talk about other things, but that's okay. I think that's all I want to say for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate that you guys have decided to listen and watch, and it makes my heart happy when I hear from y'all. And I hope that you are doing great, that you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will talk to you guys next time. But until then, I want you to remember that you are knitworthy. See you guys later. Bye.